Hey everybody, this is Joe Ozegovich with the Sierra Club's Chickasaw Group here in the greater Memphis area. I want to talk to you today about home energy audits and energy conservation. The ultimate goal is to conserve as much of that energy that you have used to heat or air condition your home, thereby saving you some money and making you more comfortable. Now, if you have a home with some age, it's likely that the building standards of that time didn't have make for a very tight home. So there's a lot of ways in which you can tighten up the house. I don't mean so tight so that you need a ventilation system, but take care of the gross errors, the big issues. And you'd be surprised if you do an audit where some of those items are. Just as an example, before my first audit, I was in the attic and I was showing this fellow how to, what I wanted to look at. And I grabbed this duct and it wasn't even connected to the register. It was just flopping around in the attic. So that meant that all that air that was conditioned, which I spent money for, was just going into the attic or partially into the attic. And obviously the air that was in the attic was coming into my home, which is not too clean. So right away, just by doing that, I was able to take care of a lot of issues. Identify problems, go with an energy audit. Several years ago, I made the effort to try and conserve as much energy as possible, also to produce clean solar electric. And I'm trying to move away from fossil fuels as much as possible. I only use natural gas, as a backup, not as a primary source. I do have it as a primary source, though, for my water heater. I have a tankless water heater, instantaneous water heater. That's also helping me to save energy as well. So my goal is to reduce my footprint. And I do have a page that's called Living Sustainably Shelby County. It's on Facebook. And my email address is jozegovich@yahoo.com. So I look forward to hearing some comments, questions, tips. I am not a certified auditor. I'm just a homeowner who is interested in saving energy, and I volunteer with the Sierra Club as well. So my focus is on energy savings, electric cars, solar, etc.
In this video, we're going to talk about getting an audit. It's really important to identify a problem so that this way you can fix it. Without doing that audit, you might be oblivious to it. So you can go through TVA's Energy Right program. That's one way. And another way is also to go through a third-party verification where you hire somebody to come in and they do an extensive audit, a blower door check, duct leakage check, etc.
Now the first energy audit is called a self-audit. And this is the one that you could do through TVA. It's through eScore, and it's www.escore.com. And it's a self-audit. This is one you just register in and you plug in the information that they ask for, and it gives you a summary of how well your home is doing relative to industry standards. So that's a self-audit. That's free. Doesn't cost you anything. Nobody comes into your home. You do your own audit. Now, the next audit is going to be through TVA as well, and that's where they come out, and there's a fee for that. It's usually $75, but sometimes they have sales and it doesn't cost a penny, so it depends upon what's going on. With COVID, things are a little bit different right now, but once COVID is finished or it's not an issue anymore, having somebody from TVA come to your home to do an audit would be very cost effective, and they'll give you a score. So for example, my score is 9. I still have room for improvement. I still got one more number. And that would mean, changing my windows, adding more insulation. That's still on my task to do at this point. Now, the next audit is going to be a blower door check and a duct leakage check. Now, this is a third-party verification. You're going to hire somebody to come in who has the credentials, certifications. They're going to hook up this device to your front door for a blower test. They're going to operate it at 50 pascals, this big fan, and it's going to suck the air out of the house, and you'll find the leaks wherever they may be. Also, you can do a duct leakage test where they connect to the specific duct and they can measure how much leakage there is in that particular duct. So you can look at it from a duct point of view. You can also look at it your whole house envelope as well. Now, my first audit was done in 2018 by Jack Cowan. He's in Millington, and this was what his findings were. Seal the ducts, supply boots, return grills, and air handler boxes. HVAC replacement, your air conditioning unit. Install gaskets to all the electrical wall boxes, child protector plugs in all the plugs. Replace the ceiling recessed lights. Only had one. Add additional attic insulation to reach approximately an R40. That's what you should strive for, and or about 14 inches of insulation. Keep in mind that you should try and seal as much before you put in the insulation, because insulation does not provide air sealing. It just simply provides an insulating blanket. Other findings. Replace the windows. I haven't done that yet, but that's something I'll be looking at. Air seal with caulk and foam at all penetrations. That was part of the work that we've been doing. Air seal and insulate attic drop-down stairs. I've done that before. Secure the attic knee wall insulation and install air sealing backing to prevent wind washing of wall insulation. Consider replacing standing tank water heater with a tankless water heater, and that's what I got. I put a tankless water heater installed a couple of years ago, and it's working great. Endless supply of hot water. It's like the rest of the world is doing it. Why can't we do it? And it's just one of those things. All right. Other findings: building air infiltration. Now, my house tested 3,394 CFMs, which is cubic feet per minute of air, at 50 pascals. How much leakage? Well, a good rule of thumb is to have a blower door number, which is a CFM number, less than or equal to the square footage of your home. So my home is about just over 2,500 square feet. So my CFM number should be at or below that number. Now, the recent audit that I had done shows it at 2,669, which means it's above, but it's getting real close because the first audit had it at 3,394 cubic feet per minute, or CFMs. So you can see that I'm moving in the right direction, and I'm starting to get some good results in my numbers in terms of how much energy I'm consuming. So it's paying off in dividends. Blower door audit results. Now, here are 3 different tests that were done. The first one in 2018, April of 2018. The second one was done prior to my sealing my ducts, which was in December of 2020. And then just after the sealing was done, we went ahead and did another blower door check in order to verify how much improvement there was. So I went from 3,394 CFMs to 2,669. That's a 21% reduction in the amount of CFMs that's loss inside my home. So what's effectively happening is that more of my conditioned air is staying inside my house, and it's also not going to be attic air coming in, which would be dusty, moldy, and garbage air. So the conditioned air is what I really want to focus in on.
Okay, we're going to look at my annual electricity consumption. And in 2016, when I first started to look at energy efficiency inside the home, it was 10,360 kilowatt hours for the entire year. The following year, with some efforts made, it went to 6,191. That's a sharp difference. Now, the following year, in 2018, I only got to 6,165. So there's only about just about a 30 kilowatt hour difference between the 2 years. Now in 2019 it went to 5,300, so it was a sharp decrease there. And this last year, 2020, or this current year, is 4,704. So as you can see, my consumption has come down considerably relative to the previous years. And if I was to look back prior to 2016, I can guarantee you that my numbers would be either equal to or greater than 10,360. We're looking at over a 55% reduction in electricity consumption just by buying efficient equipment, sealing things, caulking, changing how I work using the three-legged stool approach. This next slide is dealing with annual gas consumption. Now, in the South, we don't have to worry about gas as much as we do up in the North because of the temperature differences in the wintertime. But gas consumption is a key factor. So let's take a look at my annual gas consumption. Now, in 2016, I had about 500 ccf of consumption of natural gas. In 2017, it went down to 415. Now, in 2018, this is an aberration. This is an outlier. It's 556. For some reason, I got a new meter, and things just got skewed, and it balanced out in the end. But just as a way to show, hey, this is due to transitioning from one old meter to a new meter. And then later on, you get to see it was 2019 has 312 ccf of natural gas consumption. Now, the following year, 2020, this year, 242 ccf consumption. So as you can see, I've been going down in my consumption for gas over 50%. Okay, so these are efforts made with the three-legged stool approach and trying to make sure that I get as much energy conservation as possible. This translates into over thousands of dollars a year in energy savings. Okay, so this is not looking at solar. This is just simply my home consuming energy, whether it be gas or electric, and we're looking at a reduction of nearly 50%, more than 50%. That's the way to do it. I like that.
Now we're going to focus in on the actual blower door test. This is the third-party verification. Kevin and Angela will be doing the work. Kevin is the business owner. His company is called Save Energy Solutions, and they're in the Memphis area, and he's a stand-up guy. He's a talker, which means you can tell he's really in love with what he does. And once he starts working on something, you just let him go. He's on it. And there's nothing better than that feeling of having somebody who's working in your home, given that level of interest the way you would. And for somebody like me, I was interested in getting some numbers, getting some work done. And he came through and did a lot of extra work, and I was really happy with the results. So if you get a chance, give him a call, and it's Save Energy Solutions, and his name is Kevin, and his assistant is Angela. Now, this first video of our audit is going to have Kevin and Angela working to put together the blower door test, and they're starting up the fan here. And once we get to 50 pascals, we'll be able to determine how much air leakage is in the house. Now, this is an evaluation before I had my ducts sealed in 2020. I've done a lot of work to the home since 2018 when I had my first energy audit done.
What I'm going to do, since we know we've got the right one, we shut it off, turn it down, and let the fan take over here. Computer's going to take over. All right, here it goes. And our goal for this house. Okay, the goal for this house right now should be 2273 to 3895. This is currently what we're getting now. 2841. Okay, so it's like midways between a typical house. That's the typical house range. And we can do an average here. Average of, let's say, 10 seconds. 10 seconds. What is it? All right, let's see, where is it? Square foot. We will write the numbers in here. Like 2835. See? So 2835, 2840 is relevant. I just put average here, okay? Easy. Okay, look at that, see? I think we're ready to go test. 28, 67. Ready to test the return?
So now we're going to start looking at each of the returns, because that's the biggest one I want to look at, because they're inside the cavities in the wall, and they're more prone to leakage, and obviously I want to take care of those first.
Average is 5 seconds here. So the average is 4.4. That'd be the leakage of this duct. I'll do it. Let's hold it a little tighter. Make sure I get it right. Yep. 4.5 is the answer when we use for the leakage in the duct. Okay, let's do another one. 4.6. This is relative 4.4. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
This is good numbers here, really. So compared to the other house, other things we calculated. Don't tell me this thing going crazy too. Shut the thing off. When it all fails, shut it off. And then
I think this is first bedroom.
with the average. We could average 10 seconds. 10 seconds is more accurate. I do 5 seconds because we got so many events to do in the house. That's the reason why. Don't ever take the first number. Okay, we'll take the second number because that'd be more accurate. Second number is 3 seconds. Okay, that's a good number. 3.8 is good for this. What room is this?
Bedroom.
I put first bedroom.
No, put bedroom on there. What he says. That's awesome. 2.7.
All right, hold on a second.
Can you see it?
No, not yet.
Isn't that crazy? At the furnace, where the hookup, at the furnace itself it leaks. Now how are you supposed to stop that? The answer you don't, right? It's a manufacturing problem. That's why it jumps up to 6% duct leakage when you hook the system in. That's why I do 5 seconds. Well, you can't trust that first number. That's a good number, really. But
Yeah.
3.5. You remember how?
Okay. Now we're going to move into the supply side of things. Since Kevin was here, it made sense. Let's do a quick check of these supplies.
All right, so this is the front room register supply, and we're looking at 0.7. And 0.9. All right, this is the family room, outside wall, and what do we got here? Looking at 1.0.
Let's see another clip. There you go. It's 1.0.
1.0. Okay.
Over 3 earlier, so 2 and 4, it averages 3.
Between 2 and 4, and so far we're seeing 0.2, and this is for the master bedroom, second register.
Right.
And right off the desk, and there you go.
0.6.
0.6. And this is for the master bedroom, and that would be the register right above the bed.
What you got?
0.6.
0.6?
0.6. 0.6.
Okay, good. You always say 0.
Wait, hold on. Don't move.
Oh, I have to move it.
Okay.
Oh, let me see.
Yeah.
Like that. Just
0.6. And that's for master bath.
So yeah, it's a priority in people's homes.
Yeah.
That's why we're
Spend
doing
a lot of time in here.
You got it?
0.6.
0.6. Good.
0.6. That's the master bedroom. Closet.
Right.
Supply.
Okay, where my biggest problem is in the master bath, the fan is leaking, and it's leaking at nearly 42 pascals. And since the test is at 50, there's not much resistance at all. So there's unfortunately, there's some issues there. And we'll see how we do after we try to seal things up a little bit. But that's evidence of a problem with my bathroom fan. The check valve might be not there or not functioning, but it's a direct bypass coming through that fan.
I'll show it to you in a few minutes, or maybe 32. Do one more click. And put it right there.
41.
So half bath, and we're looking at 28.2. Now 26 is about what I'm told to be normal for a fan inside a bathroom. Now this one's just slightly above that number, and we'll take a look at that. We'll do some sealing and see if that helps a little bit with the number.
There you go.
All right, 29, 28,
28.1.
28.1. And this is for the fan in the lower general bathroom.
Okay, that's the end of this segment, and I'll be producing more videos along the three-legged stool approach for each one of those individual legs and individual topics. The main thing to remember, the big takeaway is change the paradigm. Look at things from a different set of glasses. You'd be surprised at how much more you can see if you just change your perspective. So change the paradigm and don't be afraid of the technology. There's a lot of good things out there that are designed to tighten up our homes, make our homes more efficient. And if we work towards that, we'll save a lot of energy and therefore save a lot of money and be a good steward of our environment and Mother Nature. Thanks a lot. Talk to you later.